Following the end of World War I, patriotism was at a high point, and the prospect of federal uniforms, equipment, and other assistance was cause for an extremely positive and eager approach to the post-war organization. There was a real need for adequate armory acquisition funding.
The only discouraging feature for the National Guard now is the lack of proper armory facilities to house the organizations and to care for the valuable and delicate equipment and material which will be issued to the state.
For the first time in history, with a statewide armory reconstruction program underway, the state of Indiana had a reliable militia organized as a cohesive unit, no longer dependent upon independent volunteer companies.
Fluttering flags and the music of military bands, the rumble of artillery and rattle of horses' hooves, serried lines of rifles, the sun glinting on drawn sabers, and the stars and stripes floating for the first time above the snowy white facade of the new Indiana National Guard Armory building, at the center of the picturesque program with which the new armory was dedicated. Dedicated, as General Altman said, to the preservation of American peace, security, and ideals. Mary Bostwick, Indianapolis Star.
This was the scene on October 9, 1926, as Mary witnessed the dedication of the new Indiana National Guard's Tyndall Armory. It was the city's first official armory to house the returning Indiana Guard units that served in Europe during World War I. Veterans of all wars were invited to attend. Even Civil War veterans such as Joby Howland, a drummer boy at the Battle of Shiloh, were in attendance for the armory dedication. Prior to this date, Major General Robert Tyndall's 38th Infantry Division, along with smaller units such as Battery A, 1st Battalion of Field Artillery of the Indiana Guard, were meeting in private homes, empty warehouses, and practicing maneuvers in undeveloped fields around the state. Even though everyone thought that building an armory was a great idea, it was a rather complicated process to raise the money to construct it. A portion of the money was allocated by the federal government, but it was up to a newly formed Armory Board to figure out how to acquire the balance. The Indianapolis community rallied together, and with the combined help of area organizations, the Building Association began to definitely lay its plans as to cost, size, and interior equipment.
The constitutional government of the state must be maintained, and it is through the service of the young men of the state, sons of the state, who give their services because they believe in the state and its high purpose, that it will be maintained. Ed Jackson, Governor of Indiana.
From the late summer of 1926, the 38th Division called this grand structure home, until the division headquarters moved to its current location at Stout Field in 1977. In 1967, the building was rededicated as the Tyndall Armory in honor of Major General Robert H. Tyndall. Since September of 1994, the major headquarters at Tyndall has been the 76th Infantry Brigade separate. Tyndall Armory, a facility that was originally designed to be functional for only 20 or 30 years, is still standing strong and proudly serving the Indiana National Guard and the citizens of the Hoosier State.